Hello, and welcome to the Collapse Experiment. Today I'd like to talk about two different topics. And the first one being Craig Robertson, the 74-year-old, 5'4", 300-pound obese. I need a cane and a walker in order to move around, and usually I need help getting out of a chair. Yes, that dangerous man. So, what do we know about this dude other than he was completely physically incapable of doing the things the FBI said that he was wanting to do, threatening to do? Yeah. At this point, I have no idea what the hell the purpose of the FBI is. Apparently, they are just now the personal hit squad of the Biden administration. Not exactly where I'd like to think our country is moving, but then again, has the country ever moved in a positive direction over these last couple of decades? So there's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. I mean, when hasn't there been since 2020? 2018, 2019, it's been getting weird for a while. But now we're at the point where the government, our elected government, if you will, is at the point where if you say something that they decide is a threat, they will come to your house and shoot you. That is where we're at. It's a weird place to be in. Can't say I didn't see this one coming. Then again, I didn't see that coming either. I'm going to have to take care of that. So, yeah, if you ever read a history book, especially one about World War II, World War II Germany, you know, Germany is the one that they like to focus on, but hey, you know, you could look at 1950s, 60s China. You'll find a lot of the same stuff. Italy, if you do not support the fascist state there, bad things might happen to you. And now we're at the point where if you say a bad thing about Joe Biden, 6:15 in the morning, I believe is what they said, an armored vehicle shows up at this guy's house. Again, 74 years old. I believe his son was either blind or deaf. I don't remember which, but they lived together because the 74-year-old guy had to help take care of his younger son, who is also disabled. Sounds like a household I would consider to be a threat. Yeah, it's insane. It's obviously nothing has changed since the 90s, and if you know what I'm referring to, good for you. I don't understand where they get off thinking that this is somehow heroic. This is them doing their job. This isn't exactly anything that somebody should be bragging about. And also, I'd like to point out, they didn't exactly follow protocol either. If anything, one of the things that happened is that immediately after the shooting, they dragged his body outside, put it on the sidewalk, threw a blanket or something over it, and then left it there for several hours. Now, that by itself is not uncommon. The part that's uncommon is removing it from the crime scene, because every police shooting is investigated. The shooting officer is immediately put on leave. There's psychological evaluations, there's investigations, they talk to the other officers who witnessed it, yada, yada, yada. You get the point. So of course, if you're the shooting officer, you get to go on vacation with pay. And that is where we are at now with this story. Now, the damnedest part is because they moved the body immediately after the shooting, and I don't think that the FBI is required to wear body cam footage or have body cam footage during SWAT raids, or at all, from my understanding. That means there's no evidence as to what happened other than the testimony of the people who are still alive. So we basically have the FBI SWAT team making their own story as to what happened because there's no body cam footage. The other person involved in the shooting can't testify. How convenient is that? You've got eyewitnesses to the shooting saying that they couldn't, for some reason, break the door down, which means this guy was probably, a little paranoid, had better security than most homes if they can't use a battering ram to break a door down. Mosquitoes are bad this morning. And so yeah, they went through the wall. They drove a vehicle through the wall in order to get to this guy. So yeah, that's interesting. You have a guy who's probably sleeping in his recliner, as a lot of people that age do. He can't get out of the recliner on his own. And then all of a sudden people come knocking at the door saying, hey, we have a warrant. I'd like to search your house and arrest your ass. Meanwhile, he's sitting in the chair like, I can't fucking move. I'm too fat. I tell you, you'll walk through one spot on the property and all the mosquitoes act like you're a moving all-you-can-eat buffet that they want to follow behind. So anyways, yeah, Craig Robertson. Well, he's not the first. There will probably be more. So that's something to look forward to in the news. Because they're going to say this was a successful shooting. We were justified for all these idiotic reasons. He shouldn't have said these things. Yeah, that's also a clear violation of the First Amendment. And from the post that I saw, he never actually threatened the president. He said bad things. Now, what you'll find in the news articles is their interpretation of what he had said. They won't show you the actual post, the memes that he made, saying that he kind of wishes that certain things would happen, but he never actually threatened them himself. So yeah, you can find those in I think it's a 35-page complaint that was written about this dude in order to issue the warrant. Yeah, they also went back I think it was 10 or 12 years prior to his health issues to show photos of him wearing a ghillie suit, holding a rifle. Yeah, you could actually do this kind of stuff. And Biden could lead the country. Yeah, 2 of those comments are lies. You can figure out which ones they are. So, anyways. The other topic I want to get to, now that we're 10 minutes in. Hawaii. More evidence. They do not care about you. No, they don't. Not one bit. Because one thing that's popped up about the recent wildfire that went through Maui is that the emergency siren, in the Midwest here, we've got those sirens that they used to test, once a month? And They don't do that anymore. Now, a couple years ago, I was hanging out at a brewery. Storm rolled through, and we're all sitting there. The bartender, she gets a text message from somebody in her family saying, hey, there's a tornado. Apparently there's a tornado in Kalamazoo. And we're all sitting there drinking, and we're like, what are they talking about? There's no sirens. Because when you're 30-something years old, and all of your life you've learned to listen for the sirens, and all of a sudden there's no sirens, you just come to think that nothing is going on. Because obviously the state, the people you would pay taxes to, would warn you of bad things happening. Just like there wasn't any emergency broadcast on 9/11. That should have been the biggest red flag. Perhaps we shouldn't be funding this thing that you motherfuckers aren't going to be using. So, yeah, no sirens. There was a tornado. The bartender changed the channel on the TV. All of a sudden, we're learning from the TV, hey, there was a tornado in Kalamazoo County. And all of us are sitting there like, how the hell do we not know this? Come to find out, the county, in all of their brilliance, and I know some of these county commissioners, and really, you can complain about Biden all you want, but if you've got local people who are absolutely useless and worthless, vote those motherfuckers out, because you think Biden doesn't care about you. Wait until you learn about the people who are in your local government. So, anyways, come to find out, they switched their policy to where they're going to send out messages to people's cell phones to warn them. And maintenance on the sirens had become too expensive. They also failed to tell anybody in the county about this other than their little board of commissioners who voted on this change, and nobody was told about it afterwards in the public. They just did it. So yeah, this decades-long policy of the tornado sirens will go off when there's a tornado. Yeah, that was no longer a thing. So anyways, we also have Hawaii. And I'm wondering if Hawaii is the same situation. Except instead of instead of a tornado, it ended up being a wildfire. And now we have close to 100 people dead because of the incompetence of local government. Who again, you think the feds don't care about you. Look at those people. Because guess what? They're busy handing out contracts and money to local businesses that they're either related to or friends with. It's usually what's going on there. And yeah. So that's about it. That's what's going on lately. I know this is the first video I've done in a while, but if it wasn't U.S. citizens being assassinated by their own government, it's the deaths of people whose lives could have been saved if certain precautions had been put in place like they're supposed to have been. Yay, government. Keep on typing.